let me give introduction about me. So I am your instructor today. So we are going to learn Spring Boot with microservices. Spring Boot with MongoDB integration. Okay. So my name is Sai. So I'm having more than 10 years experience in Java full stack development. So I have a lot of Java stuff to share with you. Okay. So let me start with the today's workshop agenda. Okay. So the basic motive of today's agenda is we are going to mastering in Spring Boot with MongoDB CRUD operations. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So this is a workshop agenda today. So basically, I'm going to discuss. So what is Spring Boot and advantages with the Spring Boot, and a little introduction about. So hope you guys know about RDBMS, right? So just I'll discuss what is RDBMS. Now, what is NoSQL database? So the differences between RDBMS and NoSQL. After that, we do the software installation. So for this workshop, we need to install a few softwares like a Java, MongoDB. So those are the important software for us. Okay. Next, we will do the project development. So like we'll use the Spring IO initializer and we'll create the project structure from there. After that, so we'll input to the any ID. Like I'm going to use IntelliJ ID. So we'll import project into IntelliJ ID and then we do the application development. So after that, we use the Postman tool to test the CRUD operations. So then after we'll have Q&A. If you guys got any questions, I'll answer. So then we will tell you what will be the next. Okay. Yeah. So I hope you guys know about Spring framework and Hibernate, right? So yeah, what is a Spring Boot? Can anyone tell me what is a Spring Boot? Do you guys have an idea on Spring Boot?
Spring Boot is a framework.
Okay. So what is the difference between Spring Framework and Spring Boot? Spring Boot, it's not only a framework, like a Spring is a framework, okay? So basically, Spring Boot is a framework that simplifies the development of Java-based application by providing set of convention and default for application setup. This is a basic, we can say it. Allowing developers to quickly and create robust and production ready application with minimal configuration. This is a definition we can say. So, but when we go into Spring Boot morely, like what exactly Spring Boot is providing, what are the features and advantages of Spring Boot? Okay. So as I said, Spring Boot is a auto-configured microservice-based web framework. So that provide built-in features for developing security, database access, and microservices architecture. Okay. So the features of Spring Boot is first one is opinionated default. Like if you don't provide any specific configuration for your application, so it does some auto configuration for us. So that is a features of Spring Boot, and it's provide embedded server. Okay, previously when we are working with Spring Framework and Hibernate, we used to build the var file. So that var file we're going to deploy in some external container. Like we used to have some external Tomcat. There we used to deploy var and we have to we started the application, right? But hello, any doubts?
ఓహో నా ఆధార్ కార్డు కావాలా?
Sorry.
సరే పంపిస్తాను, ఇప్పుడు వాట్సాప్ చేస్తాను.
Please, another card.
Okay, fine. Hello, am I audible, guys? Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. So the second advantage with the Spring Boot is Spring Boot came with the embedded server. So you no need to create the war file and use the external container to run the Spring Boot application because it's came with the embedded server, or we can say container. So that is Tomcat. By default, it is a Tomcat. We can have other options also. If you want to use another, we can have Jet and Undertow. So the third feature is we can say auto configuration. As I said, the Spring Boot is famous for auto configuration only. So how it will does the auto configuration is like, so it will go to the pom.xml when we started the application context, when we started application, it will look into the pom.xml or a class path based upon the jars available in the Spring application class path or pom.xml. So it will does some auto configuration. If you don't provide any external configuration, it's having some default configuration. So it will do that configuration. So the next feature is like Spring Boot support microservices. So nowadays is everybody is looking for microservices projects, right? So in that we will have the different components like a API gateway, config server, and service registry, service discovery. So a lot of other components are there. So Spring Boot is suitable for microservices architecture. So basically, when we are developing microservices with the dual factor principle, so the Spring Boot is the best suitable framework. So then we have a Spring Boot starters. So the advantage with the Spring Boot starters are like when we are developing any application, any web-based application, so we use it to use some external jars also. So like if you want to send email, if you want to interact with any third-party services, we need to include those jars, right? So before this Spring Boot, if you want to develop any Spring framework and hybrid framework, we need to worry about the jars versioning. Okay, so whether it's supporting latest Java or whether it's having some required classes or not. So those are our worries in the previous applications. Okay, but when we are coming with the Spring Boot starters, Spring Boot starters will take care of the jars versioning. Okay, like when you included the some particular Spring Boot starter, so it will download required jars with the version compatibility. That is the advantage with the Spring Boot starters. So next, we have a Spring Boot activator. So the main advantage with the activator is when we are developing application, we need to do some metrics and statistics of the application, and we need to check the health of that application, how it's running, how many calls are coming to the application per day. Or so if you want that kind of statistics, we can use the Spring Boot activator. So next, Spring Boot CLI is there, command line interface. So basically this Spring Boot CLI we use it to, when we are running the application, that time itself, if you want to provide some, if you want to load some data into the application, or if you want to do some like parallel operations, like if you want to let's say I have a some particular file, so I have a lot of data in that CSV file. So if I want to load the data when application is started, so basically we implement this command line interface. So then we have to override the command line interface method. So that will help us to load the data at application starting time. So next we have a Spring Boot dev tools also. Basically, this dev tool we use it to when we are developing something. If you want to, let's say I already started one application. So I am again I find some error or some issue. If I want to modify the code again, I have to stop it and modify it, and again I have to restart it, right? So when we go with these dev tools, it can provide some live server kind of things. Okay, so on the fly, if you change something on the fly, it will reflect in the application. So yeah, it's having embedded data support, embedded database support also. Like it's coming with the H2 database. It's a in-memory database. So when I say in-memory database, like when we started the application, that database is available. So if you are inserting or updating something, so whenever application is started, it started. When we end the application, that database will going to arise. So this is a embedded database. Okay. Yeah, we have a different Spring Boot securities also. Like we can have OAuth2 and LDAP, Okta. So different security mechanisms are there. We can use a JWT token also. So another feature is like it easily integrate with the Spring Boot ecosystems. When I say Spring Boot ecosystem, it support the Spring Boot framework and other microservices related stuff. Okay. So yeah, the main advantage of Spring Boot is it's provide the production ready applications. What is production ready application means? You no need to worry about the all the configurations like to creating the beans and loading into the application context and providing some external configuration for data source and all. So it's by default as a first point I said like it's an opinionated default, right? So it's look into the configurations and the class path PO pom.xml and it will do some configuration. So these are the features Spring Boot will provide. So the advantages like yeah, it's a simplify the development. So you no need to worry about all other external boilerplate code or external configuration. So just take the Spring Boot application, start with your application or your business flow development. So yeah, it supports microservices architecture, easy integration, so rapid development, and we have a wide community to support the Spring Boot. If you are facing any issues in your day-to-day life, we have a big community to support to provide your solution to your issue. Okay, this is a Spring Boot advantages and features. Any doubts? So I'm going to the next slide. Okay. So next, what is RDBMS? But in this workshop, we are not going to use RDBMS. But just I want to give some information about RDBMS. Then we go with and we will start with the MongoDB. So RDBMS is relational database management system. So when I say relational, like it will have relationships between the tables, right? So the main scheme of RDBMS is it contains table. Table contains rows and columns and relationships. Like we will have parent and child relationships. So by using some constraints, like we have a foreign key, primary key, constraints will be there, right? By using a foreign key, we can maintain the relationships between the tables. Okay. So this is a advantage I can say and a disadvantage also. When I say performance wise, the relationship will be a disadvantage for RDBMS. Okay, but when you want to maintain relational database, the RDBMS is a better one. So in the market, we have a different flavors for RDBMS. Okay, we have a Oracle, MySQL, Postgres, Maria, and some other databases are there. So those are RDBMS databases, but we don't use now. We don't need much information about them now. So next, our today agenda is we are interacting with the NoSQL database, right? So what is NoSQL? So means like it will have less schema. When I say schema is like we will have a table, columns, all comes under the schema design only, right? So uh, NoSQL will have the less schema and flexibility. So what is NoSQL? Means NoSQL means like it's not only SQL, okay? So it will if you want to use the SQL, it will allow. If you don't want to use the SQL also, we can go. We can use the other things like I'll explain when I'm going to uh, tell about the differences between RDBMS and NoSQL. Okay, so it will support the SQL. If you don't want SQL, we can use other steps also with the MongoDB. Okay. So these are the differences between RDBMS and NoSQL. Okay. So when we talk about data structure, RDBMS will maintain the tables with the rows and columns. Okay. When you open the Oracle or MySQL database, if you go in, if you use any ID and if you connect to the database, so when you use some select query, there you can see, right? So what is the table and what are the rows and what are the columns in the table we can see. So it strictly follow the table architecture, like it will, there we can see the multiple rows and columns. But coming to the NoSQL, NoSQL is having various structures. Okay, when I say NoSQL, not we have a different NoSQL databases are there. Okay, like MongoDB, Cassandra, and we have a Redis. So other databases also there. So NoSQL will follow the different kind of data structures. Okay, some documents, some NoSQL databases will follow documents. Okay, some database will follow key value pairs. Okay, when we go for DynamoDB in AWS, it will follow the key value pair. So some other database will follow the graphs. Okay, but MongoDB will follow the document structure. Okay, I'll show you when I'm started the application building and so I'll connect with the MongoDB and I'll show how it's storing the data. Okay. Next schema is, so in RDBMS, it will follow strict and free-defined structure. When you want to create the table, so first when we are creating table only table, that time itself we will define the columns and their data types. Okay, and if it's having any kind of relationships, also we will mention at table creation time itself, right? So that's why it's follow the strict and free defined structure. So coming to the NoSQL type, NoSQL data type. So like so in the first it won't follow any strict schema. Like let's say in the as I said, it's follow the documents, right? So in the documents we will first when I am saving the data, I can go ahead with the some specified keys. Okay, after that if you want to insert more keys also, we can insert with the MongoDB. So basically it will follow the JSON document flow. Okay, relationships, yeah, RDBMS will follow the relationships, so with the through keys and foreign keys, that's I told you already. So but in NoSQL, not always. If you want to have the relationships, we can have. If you don't want, we can ignore. So that flexibility we can get it in the NoSQL database. So query language, yeah, SQL, RDBMS will follow the SQL query, structured query language. So it's very based upon the NoSQL database. Like if you are using MongoDB, we will follow some SQL query language. If you are go for DynamoDB, it will use some other language. So based upon the NoSQL database we choose, we can go ahead with the different types of query language. Okay. Scalability, say, yeah, typically scalability vertically, like if you are instead, let's say, if you are dealing with the MongoDB, if you are doing more insert operation at a time. So obviously RDBMS will take more time, okay, because it's having, if you are dealing with the parent and child table, if you are trying to insert, first it has to insert into the parent then child, right? So obviously this performance will be low with the RDBMS. So in NoSQL database, yeah, it's follow the horizontal, like adding. So when we go with the MongoDB, it's maintaining the clusters. Okay, if you want to insert data into multiple clusters also, we can have this advantage with the NoSQL. Okay. Next, consistency. Yeah, you know, right? What is asset properties? When we are going to working in the banking projects or any financial service related domains. So if you want to do some database in transaction, we need to maintain this asset properties like automaticity, consistency, isolation, and durability. If we failed in any one point of time, it will revoke all the changes. It will roll back all the changes. So yeah, in NoSQL also we can do this. If you want to use it, use. If you not, we can may not use the asset properties. Okay. So examples of RDBMS is MySQL, Oracle, Postgres, and we have other Maria and all also. So coming to the NoSQL database side, we have a MongoDB, Cassandra, Redis, DynamoDB. So some other databases are also available in the NoSQL flavor. So any doubt as of now? Just I'm giving overview of NoSQL, because when we are going to create the application, if you need any explanation or any doubt, let me know. I'll give more about the NoSQL database. So I am going to the next slide. Yeah, so software installation. So probably you already installed the Java, right? So I'll show you. In my application, as in my machine, I installed Java 17. I'm going to use the Java 17. Okay. Then we have to install the MongoDB. Okay. For that, so I'll provide this document, Word document, how to install the MongoDB, and just click on this MongoDB download center. Okay. So come to the community server panel and click on select package. Okay. So here we can select two types of packages. Either we can use MSI or we can use the zip file. So I'm going to use the MSI. If you use a zip file, just download it and take that folder and extract into some drive. So just set the MongoDB dot. So this MIS is installation file. Just click on the download. Okay. So it will download the MIS file. So like this. Okay. Just click on this. It will instruct next, next, and next. At that I will show in the Word document. Okay. So when you download it, you will get the MSI file. Just double click on that MSI file. Okay. Just click on next. Then acknowledge this accept checkbox. Then click on next. Okay. Next, select this complete option. The next window you will get complete or custom. So select that custom complete one. So just click on next. Next, after you select the run radio button as run service as a network server service user. Okay, just select that option. And if you want to change the data storage directory, you can select that. Okay, basically when we are creating database, so it will store into the data directory only. Okay, just click on next. So it will ask for the installation, so it will start the installing. So then just finish it. Okay, so if you see, so the MongoDB going to install in this folder, program files, MongoDB server, some version and bin. Okay, so after that, just set the path in environment variables up to bin. Okay, in the MongoDB server, after version, there is a bin folder is there. Right? Just set the path. This is enough to set to install the MongoDB. If you want to install Mongo Compass or to connect the MongoDB, we can use different IDs. We can use Mongo Compass, Studio 3, Robot 3. So a lot of IDs are there. Robo 3T and all. So today I'll use the Mongo Compass. I already installed it. Okay. Just I am closing it. I'll share this document. So when you are practicing, just take this document. If you have any doubt, go ahead with this document and install the MongoDB. Okay. Okay. Next. So yeah, ID is your choice. Okay, whether you can use Eclipse or STS. So, but I am going to use the IntelliJ for this workshop. So because nowadays I'm very much using with working with the IntelliJ. Okay. So next, we'll see. The next step we will going to set up the project and database integration. So we'll going to see some coding practices also while we are writing the APIs. Then we test the application. Okay. Uh, get started with the code development. Okay. I'm closing this slide. Whenever I require, I'll open it. Okay. So to create the Spring Boot application, you know, right? We can use a Spring Boot initializer. Okay. So this is our Spring Boot initializer. Basically, we use this web application. I can say it's a web application. We can use this one and we can make our production. We can create our production free Spring Boot application. Okay, whatever the jars if you want, what is the version you want to use, and what kind of build tool you want to use. Everything we can mention here. It will create one dummy project and it will hand over. So after that, just we have to extract that project and we can write our own business flow or our functional flow. Okay. So I'm first select the project build tool. So I'm going to use the Maven. Okay. So the language is Java. So the version is I'm going to use the IS version like 3.2.0. So group ID just mention. So when I say com, as you know, right, com stands for commercial application. It's not a free one. There's a intention we use commercial. Then basically we use the company name or that application belongs name. Okay. This is the group ID, and then I'm going to create some banking application. So this is a banking application. So if you want to mention any description about this application, so like this application will handle MongoDB CRUD operations. Okay. So then select the Java version. So when you are choosing this Spring Boot version, so by default it will select the Java required Java minimum Java version. Okay, so I'm going with the 3.2.0, right? By default it will select the 17. Okay, so after that, so if you want to add any dependencies, okay, so I'm going to create a REST APIs, right? For MongoDB CRUD operation, I'm going to create the REST APIs. So for that, I need the Spring Web jar. Next, we are going to interact with the MongoDB, right? Just add the Spring Boot, sorry, Mongo, Spring Data, MongoDB jar. Okay. So addition to this, so if you, when you are writing Pojo classes, we need to have setters and getters and constructor, right? So to overcome that boilerplate code, we have another jar, right? Lombok is there. We can use the Lombok jar. So if you want to use dev tools also, we can use for the live server and all. Okay. So these are the 4 jars we required. So after adding all this stuff, just don't directly generate the application. Click on the explore. So here you can see the project structure. Okay. So first of all, in the pom.xml, check whether you have all required dependencies or not. So I have a MongoDB and starter web is there. Dev tools, Lombok, and this one by default will come. Okay, just testing dependency by default will come. You don't need to add it. Okay, so then go to the SRC folder. So it will give the project package structure. Okay, so this is the project structure we will going to get like a com.ashokit.banking. So inside we have the main application, banking application. So why I am saying it's a main application, it will have the main method. Our project execution will start from here, right? You already aware of the Spring Boot. I'm not going to explain what exactly this run will do, right? So like it will create the application context, it will maintain the banner text, everything will happen through this method only. So if you have any properties, we will going to have in the application properties. Just download this project. Okay. It will download the banking zip application. So here I am. Okay. Just I'm copying this project into some other directory because I don't want to maintain the downloads. So just after that, just extract this application, right click. So inside Ashok IT, I want this application. Okay. I extracted this application. Here I got the application architecture. Okay. So let's okay, I already have it right. Just open the IntelliJ and import that project into the IDE. Just click on IntelliJ. It will open. Okay. I'm open. This is I already created. So let open the created project now. So it's there in the Ashok IT, right? So I'm selecting this project. After that, say trust. So it's open in the different window. Let me show that application. So this is our application we got from the Spring Boot initializer. Okay, just it's having main method only. Okay. Then so we'll start creating CRUD operation for MongoDB. So first of all, I already installed the MongoDB, right? Let me open the Mongo Compass and check whether it installed properly or not. Okay, so when you open Mongo Compass, so this window will open. Just say connect. Okay, it will have the default port is 27017. Okay, just connect. So these are the databases already there in the MongoDB. I'm deleting these databases. Okay. So I dropped the database. Okay. So we'll create when we are running the SpringBoot application that automatically create the database. Okay. That I will show you. So let's minimize this window. So basically, when I'm going to develop this Spring Boot application for the Mongo CRUD, so I'm going to follow the bottom to top approach. So when I say bottom to top approach, first I'll create the model class, then repository class, after services, then after I'll create the controller. So this is a bottom to top. This is the best approach to avoid the more errors in our application. So if you are very familiar with the Spring Boot application, if you are experienced already, then you can directly create the controller, then come to service, then come to repository, then you can have the model class and all. So that approach also you can follow. So first I'll create some model class. So I'm taking child package as model because as you know, right, Spring Boot application automatically take all the classes there in the root package. So model package, I'm going to create one Java class. The class name is account. I say I got account class. Okay. So the properties will be private string id. Sorry, id. So we can take any integer also, but in my case I am taking some string as a id. It will generate some random string for the application id. Okay. So then private string account number private string count holder count holder, then private double balance. So these are the properties my model class is having. Okay, after that, so you know, right, we are using Spring Data, MongoDB, Spring Data MongoDB jar, right? Just we have to map this Pojo class to the database table. For that, we have some MongoDB provided annotations are there. Just we have to use them. So this is document is MongoDB data GPA provided annotation. So here we have to use collection. This is going to be our MongoDB collection. I'm saying accounts. Here I'm saying accounts. Okay. If you don't provide this collection name, by default it will create account as a collection name in the MongoDB. Okay. So, but when you know you already know when we are interacting with the RDBMS, we use @entity, @table annotations from Java persistence API, right? So it's the same. MongoDB also provide the same kind of annotations. Just we add them to handle the MongoDB table. Okay. After that, right, we will have the @ID. @ID also there. Just we use the add the annotation. So if you want to mention column names, if you have a different column names in the collection, if you want to maintain different column names, you can have column and mention the column names also, like key names also. Here we cannot say column, it's a key. So because it's going to save this object as a document, right? So that's the reason we will say JSON keys. Okay. I'm don't going to create any other name with the keys and all. Just I'm using the default one. Okay. This is my model class. After that, so I already added the Lambda connotation, Lambda jar, right, to have the setters, getters, and constructors, right. So I'm going to use this data annotation from the Lambda. So basically, the data annotation will provide setter getters and toString, hash code, and equals method from the object class. So after that, I am going to use all or constructor. Then I'm going to use the no or constructor. So these three annotations will provide setter getters, toString, equals, hash code, and all or constructor and no or constructor. Okay. So next, I'm going to create another package that is repository. Okay. So inside repository, I'm going to create one class again, that is account repository. So this type of class is interface, okay? Because MongoDB data JP already having some interfaces to handle the CRUD operations. So just I want to extend those interface into my interface, okay? So that's the reason I'm creating the interface type class, okay? This is public interface account repository, which is extends MongoDB, Mongo repository. Okay. So after that, we have to mention our we have to mention our model class, that is account and ID of the account. Okay. Just import this account class. Okay. So what is string? String is the type of ID. Okay. What is the data type of ID in the account class? That type we have to mention here. Okay. Account, the ID of the account class. So let's see what are the methods available in the Mongo repository. Okay. If you open the Mongo repository, we have insert. Okay. We have another type of insert also with multiple objects. Okay. Find all. So, and it's implementing another interface, that is list CRUD repository. So if you go here, we have a save all, find all by ID. So it is extending another interface, that is CRUD repository. Inside CRUD repository, we will have save, find by ID, exist by ID, find all by ID, count, delete by ID, delete. So these are our methods are there. So these methods are enough to complete our workshop today. So just I'm not going to write any other method into our interface. Okay. So next, create service class for our business flow. First, I'm creating another package, service. Okay, inside service, I'm going to create some. This type is interface. I'm going to say account service. I hope you all know how to create the CRUD operations, sorry, like REST resources in Spring Boot, right? That is the reason I'm directly creating the classes, okay? Account service, so interface, type is interface, okay? So this class will have some methods to handle the CUD repository, CUD operations in the MongoDB. So my first method is create an account, okay? So let's say public account or model class will import that. Let's say create account is our method, okay? It will take account as a argument. So this is method we use to create account. Next, we'll get the account, okay? So for that, I'm using interface. In interfaces, methods by default is public, right? You no need to mention the public. If you want to maintain, that's also fine. It won't compile anything. So just I'm adding the public. Uh, Next, I'm creating get account by ID. So our ID is string data type, right? We used ID. So it going to return some object, right? Account object, right? So whether we can have that object or not in the database. So that's the reason I'm going to use the optional class account. Sorry, it's an abstract method. Then we will have update account. So we have a create get. Next we'll create the update account method. So after updating, I want to return the account details, updated account details. That's the reason I'm taking return type as a account update account. So it is taking account as a parameter. So we have another method that is delete account, because when we delete it won't return anything, right? That's the reason I'm taking void as a return type. So based on ID, I want to delete the account. Okay. So these are the CRUD operations we are going to do in the MongoDB. First, create account, get account by ID, update account, delete account. So next, I want to have some implementation class for this. I'm creating account. First, I'll create another package, that is implementation IMPL package. So inside this package, I'm going to create account service implementation. Account service IMPL implementation class. Type is class. Okay, which implements account service. Okay, so it's having some abstract method, right? We have to implement that abstract methods. Okay. So this service we have to add the stereo annotation, service stereotype annotation. Then So here I'm auto wiring the repository class to connect with the database. Okay, my account repository. Just auto wire this class. Okay. So here I'm using dot save method is there. Okay. I'm saving single object, right? And that's the reason I'm using save. If you want to save multiple object at a time, you can use the save all also. Next, account service repository. So here I'm going to use find by ID method. And I'm passing ID. If you observe here, that save method is coming from CRUD repository interface, right? And find by ID come from the CRUD repository only. Okay. Uh, Next, we update the account. So for the update account also, we can use the save method. If ID is there in the this account class, okay, if ID present, if ID exists, it will update. If don't have ID, it will create the ID, okay. So it will create as a new record. Next, I am deleting the account, okay. Delete by ID is there. I'm using delete by ID. Sorry, small letter. So if you see this delete by ID also coming from the CRUD repository. Okay. So is this clear? Do you have any queries on this? Just let me know. I'll stop and I'll explain. Okay. Simply I create the model class and I did the mapping. What is the collection I'm going to use in the MongoDB database, and I added some annotations. After that, I created account repository interface, which is extend Mongo repository. Then I created the service classes for the CRUD operations. So the finally, I'm going to create the controller, which is going to interact with the our client, our UI client or Postman. Okay. We have a class account controller. Okay. So to make this is a REST resource, we have to apply at the rate REST controller annotation. Then I'm going to assign some path with the REST mapping, request mapping, sorry. So inside request mapping, I'm going to add some path like /eAPI. This is accounts control, right? I'm going to have accounts. This is my root path of account controller. Inside this class, so I want to create some CRUD repositories, right? CRUD related APIs. Okay. I'm going to create public response entity is a return type. The return type will be account model. So my method name is create account. So inside, I'm going to send the account payload for the post request. So I'm annotating with the request body. So type is account model. Okay. So just annotate this method with the post mapping because we are passing the request body, right? To create the account, we need to pass the account payload. So that's the reason I'm applying the post mapping. If you want to have some path at method level also, you can have it. But right now I'm not having, I'm not going to add the request mapping at method level because so I'm just going to have the CRUD operations, right? That's enough. I don't need to mention anything at method level because I'm going to have only one post method, one get method, one put method, one delete methods, right? I don't not adding at method level. So here inside this post mapping, let me auto void. Our account service is already having some method, right? I'm going to use them account service. Just auto void with the auto void. Okay. Then account service dot create account, passing the account object, which is we got from the client. Okay. So it will return some created account details, right? I'm saying created account. So then just return it, whatever you got, return new response entity. So type is created account with HTTP status at the just HTTP status code dot created. Okay, this is our create account API. Then we going to have get account. Okay, public response entity going to return account type. Then our method name is get account by ID. So I'm going to pass account ID as a path variable. I'll tell you what is path variable. Okay, path variable string ID. Okay, so account service dot get account with ID. Okay, it's going to return optional account. Okay, maybe we can have account with this ID or not, right? That's the reason I'm added optional in the service. So just I'm going to get that optional here, optional type account. Yeah, first of all, let me create one package. I forget, sorry. I'll create one controller package. I'll move this class to controller. refactor the package. Okay. Then we have a return count dot. Let me import this package. So this class dot map method is there. You can use map. If we found the map account, we return that account details. Otherwise, we'll return an error. Okay. Response entity. So it's should type new response entity. Type is account or value. We have a value, right? Value. With if you want to pass any status code, you can pass it. Otherwise, just return. Okay. Status code. Sorry. HTTP status. Okay. Okay. Else, if we don't found any account with that ID, so I'm going to throw one exception. Okay, that is this is a lambda expression I'm using. Account not found exception. I'm going to create this exception, custom exception class, account not found exception. Okay. With message account not found with ID. ID. Okay. So create this account not found exception class. So for that, I'm going to create new package, that is exception. So here I'll create account not found exception class. Okay, this is going to be a runtime exception. So I'm extending runtime exception class. So this class will have some constructor public account not found, passing some message, right? I'm taking that message. Simply, I'm recalling the runtime interface constructor. So we can use super and just call that. Okay. So I'm going to create one another exception handler class to have the global exception handling in my Spring Boot application. So just create application exception handler. Okay. So inside this, I'm using REST controller advisor notation. Inside this, I'm going to create one method that is response, return type is response entity, which return string message. Method name is handle not found exception. So argument is account not found exception class. So just return this class, return new response entity dot get message and HTTP status. Yes. Dot not found status. Okay. Just annotate with this X method exception handler type is account not found dot class. Okay. You want to have response status and response status also. Right? HTTP status dot not found. Okay, our custom exception class is ready. Then go to the controller. Just throw the account not found exception. Okay. What is our class now? Dynamistic account. You have to throw. Just import this class. Alt enter. Sorry. Okay. So what I'm doing here is just I'm trying to get the account with the ID. If account is there, I'm returning that account. If it is not there, I'm going to return some custom exception, that is account not found exception. Okay, with the ID not found. Status code is not found. Okay. Then write some method for get update. Response entity, which is returning account. Method is update account, which is taking two path variables. One is path variable, that is string based on ID. We are updating the account, right? Request body with account parameter. Okay. So first let me find the account already there in the account service. Okay, that is, let's say update account, I can say, which is already there in the database. Dot get account by ID, passing ID. So here I'll get the ID account. So once I have the update account details, I'll do the map again. Map, sorry. Existing account, can say taking some lambda expression inside these, updating the new account details we got from the payload, okay, request payload, okay. Just create existing account dot set account holder name account dot get account holder, okay. What else? We'll update the account holder, that's it. And balance, we can update balance also. That's set balance from the account dot get, okay. I'm going to update account holder name and get balance, okay. So, or else throw some exception, okay. That is same. I'm saying account is not found if account is not there, okay. Okay, finally return response entity with the updated account with the status code. After that, we have to return updated account, right? Account, we have to update the account after setting the values called update account with the existing account. So I'm used Java 8 syntaxes. Just practice the syntaxes, okay? Or if you want to do it in the Java 7 also, you can do it. So first I'm trying to find the account. So that account I'm updating with the latest details which are coming from in the payload, okay. Then I'm resetting to the existing account and I'm saving that account, okay. Otherwise, if it is not found, I'm throwing the account not found error, okay. Stand with the semicolon, okay. We have a create account, get account is an update account. Then we have to add method to delete account. Then we do the testing, okay. Public response entity. Return type will be void because I'm deleting the account. Okay. Void delete account. Based on the ID, I'm going to delete. Path variable is string ID. Okay. Set this use account dot delete with the ID. So then return. We have to acknowledge the client, right? That's the reason I'm adding HTTP status no content, because once we delete, we won't get any information about that account, right? So that is the reason I use this. Okay, our CRUD repository is ready. Just let me know if you have any doubts on these methods. Okay, this is my controller account controller. Here I am creating the account with the post mapping. This should be at the rate get mapping. This should be at the rate put mapping. This should be at the rate delete mapping. Okay, all CRUD operations I am doing. Okay, account. Okay, just let me start this application. I'm going to the main class. I'm starting the application. Okay. So yeah, my application is started with the 8080 port number. So we'll test this application. Okay. Postman. I'm using the Postman for the testing the application CRUD operations. Let me create one more collection. Blank collection. Collection name will be banking collection. Okay. So first of all, let me create the account. Okay. So I'm going to pass JSON body. So I already have it in the banking application. Just I'm taking the JSON body from here. Okay. So account ID is 1. Okay. So account number is something. Name is John Day. Just say this account post and create account request. Okay. First of all, go here. I don't have any database here. Okay. I don't created any database. Just I'm going to send the. I'm going to add the account. We'll see what going to happen. Okay. So account is created, but thing is we did not have any properties in the application.properties file. Okay. If you see here, I did not mention the database details. Okay. This is empty file. I did not mention anything. Okay. So this is the advantage with the Spring Boot. So it will do the some opinionated configuration and it will save the recurring database. Okay. Let go to the database. Just refresh it. Okay. It created test. Okay. So the default database is test created and It's created collection name is accounts. It added the entry. Okay. If you want to mention any specific database, okay, if you don't want to save in the test database, just go to the application.properties file. Okay. So here you have to mention the your database details. So like Spring data Mongo DB dot host is localhost. Next, Spring data Mongo DB dot port. Port number. What is the default port number of MongoDB? 27017. Next, Spring data Mongo DB. That database name. Database is here you mention the your database. I'm going to say banking DB. Okay. Stop the application and start it again. Okay. So let hit this API again. Okay. So I created the account again with the ID one, account number this one. Okay. Let me go to the database and refresh it. Okay. Now I got one more database with the banking DB. So this is my collection. Okay. Let me add few more account details. Okay, I have added 3 accounts. Just refresh this collection and see whether you are able to see the entries. Okay, we have a 3 entries in the MongoDB. Okay, so but in RDBMS we will see record as a table, right? Table rows and columns. But here it's just a document. Okay, so the big advantage with the MongoDB is, let's say I copied this record, I want to add the document again. Just add, sorry, copied the document. Okay, this time I'm going to delete these 2 properties. Okay, balance and just I have a 2 properties only. Just try to insert whether it is allow or not. Okay, so okay, already ID 2 is there. Okay, so it's created record with only ID property. Okay, but in RDBMS, if you create the data table, okay, if you don't mention the all column names, it will throw the error. But NoSQL, it will allow. Okay, only the ID column is required. Other than if you miss another properties, also it will allow. That is the advantage with the MongoDB. Okay, and it will save as a JSON document. If you copy here and go paste in notepad, okay, it will come as a JSON document. So it is not coming as a table row and column, right? Just a JSON document, JSON object. Okay, so next we'll see the get method. Okay, add one more request, get I'm trying to get the account 3, which is already there in the database, right? Account is there, okay? Sorry, account 3. API. Okay. So let me see some problem with the ID. Hmm. Okay. Here we did not mention the path variable. So actually we are passing ID as a path variable, right? That is the reason it is throwing error, okay? Just we have to pass the path variable, okay? That's my mistake. Here, just pass the ID, okay? Same thing, we have to pass ID for the post mapping also. Because okay, just stop this server and start again. So this time we got the account details, okay? Let me try to find the account 3. We have a account 3 also, okay? So then we try to update the account, okay? Let me create one more request. Type put accounts. I'm going to update the account 3 with a different name, okay? I'm going to update name and balance, okay? Okay, account is updated, account holder is updated, balance is updated. Let me check in the database. Just refresh this. So account holder name is updated, balance also updated. Okay. The final one will delete the account. Okay. Delete. So I'm going to delete account 1. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, we did the same mistake for delete also. We did not add the path variable. Okay. Stop it. Okay, let me try to delete the account 1. Yeah, account is deleted. We got the no content. So actually, I'm returning the same thing from the account API. Account after deleting account, I'm returning the no content response. That is this one, no content. Status code is 204. So if you want to check the status code, HTTP status is a enum. It will provide all the HTTP status codes. Okay, for no content, status code is 204. Message is no content available. Okay, for OK is a 200. Message is OK. Okay, you can check all these HTTP status codes for your API. Whatever you want to add it into your API, you can take it from HTTP status. So yeah, we created the account. Okay. So we get the account details. Get account. Next, we have updated the account. Okay. Account, and we deleted the account. So we have done all CRUD operations. Okay. All the CRUD operations. Okay. So I'll share this post my link also and repo URL also. Okay. So yeah, this is what I wanted to discuss in the today's session. We gone to the postman collection. We created, get, put, deleted the account details. Okay. Do you have any questions, guys? Any doubts or any questions? Okay. So next, we'll share the Git repo URL and postman collection. So after this session, okay. Thanks for connecting. Okay. Hello. Can I end the session or any doubts? Okay. Somebody raised the session. I couldn't see that guy. Are you able to unmute? I am unable to unmute. Okay. Okay. Hi, KV. Do you have any doubt? Hello. Yeah, I'm unable to hear you. Can you speak, KV?
Hello. Hi.
Yeah.
Actually, as a end user in a distributed application, we are unable to send the primary keys, I mean ID. Actually, internally, our Spring Boot application only generate the IDs actually. I mean, how you can configure that within this Mongo repository? If you take the JPA repository, we can use by using a sequence generator or ID generator, we can configure that now. But how you can configure this in Mongo repository?
You mean ID?
Yes.
Yeah, actually, we have a some ID generation annotations are there, auto generation or some random
Yes, that's what I am asking.
random IDs generations are there. So
Okay.
just we used in the RDBMS, right? When we are
Yes,
using BP annotations, we have a at the rate auto generated ID and all. Okay,
yes,
so
yes,
we
yes.
can use any one of them and we can generate the ID. Okay, but
But
right now I passed the ID in the payload itself. Okay, if you see
yes,
here,
yes.
I passed the ID.
Okay, I understand that, Yakumbar, but actually, how we can configure that? But in if you take the Oracle database, it's support the sequence generator actually. But
Okay,
this is that sequence generator is not supported in MongoDB now, actually. In
okay.
MongoDB, what kind of things are supported? Just I want to know those kinds. That
We have a generated IDs are there. Okay, Java annotations IDs are there. We can use them. And
Okay, okay. I mean, it is the last session or tomorrow will be session is there?
yeah, tomorrow will be there. Just it's my first session. Okay.
Okay,
Furtherly,
okay.
we will create the different services, and we can have the different microservices components also, gateway, and we will do that. But so that I'll check with the team, and I'll get back to you. Okay.
Okay, okay. And also, actually, here some one to many to one mappings are also there now.
Yes, yes. But
Those,
this in this session, just I want to show some collaborations. Okay, this is for the basic. Uh, this is for the entry guys only. Okay, if they want to do the some collaborations in the MongoDB, they want to make some connection with the data JPA. So for them only, I have done this session. Okay, not for complicated scenarios. Okay,
okay.
so
I
in the
mean,
further session, definitely we will see all these things. Okay, mapping and
okay, okay. No problem, no problem. Okay, thanks, man. It's a good session, in my
thank you,
opinion. Thanks
Kevin.
a lot.
Thanks for your feedback. Okay.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay. So this is the session today, guys. Thanks for joining. Okay. So we'll inform you for further workshops. Okay. Thank you.